Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. AI robotics are reshaping the future of hospitality. We're going to talk about our R stock. I think it's very important to pay attention to this stock in particular because this is not only better than AITX, it performs better, it actually holds a bottom, but this is one of those stocks that nobody wants right now. But in the future, when this thing gets going, there's a lot of people who are going to chase, and they're going to regret not buying when it was cheap. Serve Robotics, guess what? It was under $5 at one point. And then guess what happened? Let me look at this news. They're deploying the National Guard where I live, so it's going to be interesting. Oh, wait, no, not Los Angeles. I thought it said Chicago. Anyways, AI Robotics reshaping the future of hospitality. Let's just take a look here at our website. Oh my God, no, don't. It might take me somewhere I don't want to go. I have to be careful. Our stock website. Okay. Robots are only going to get more useful, right? You know, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. There's one thing that the new generation had better than the previous one, right? Who here has a PlayStation 1? I don't got a PlayStation 1. Maybe sitting somewhere, probably. But seriously, each generation, there's a lot of improvements. And as time goes by, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, it's just going to get more and more incredible, which means if you're thinking ahead and you see the pattern here in terms of how technology emerges and then the companies innovate and it gets better, improves over time, because you never want to be you never want to be the one who buys Gen 1. You always want to buy like Gen 2 or Gen 3. But let me see, of a robot at least. Do they not have a website? Am I confused here? I thought they had a website. I swear I saw a website from them. Yeah, there it is. There's the website. So why is it so hard to find their website? So yeah, Richtech Robotics, NVIDIA, something in the NVIDIA Connect program. So that's part of the reason why it pumped. But you can see here, they got Atom, you got Scorpion. And bartenders are going to get replaced. You don't think so? They'll get replaced. Maybe there'll be one human, maybe one bartender. And that bartender's not really a bartender. It's just going to be the manager. Because I never worked as, I don't want to say I worked as a bartender, but I did work at one of those restaurants. I don't even know if you want to call it a restaurant. It's one of those gambling places where you can come in and just play the slots. It really wasn't. It was a restaurant, but not really people would only buy if they won money on the slots. Let me put it that way. It was really just a gambling addiction for a lot of people that would come in. But I worked at one of those places briefly when I was younger, and we didn't really have a bartender. It was just the manager pretending to be a bartender. She was just, doing two roles, basically. And, I mean, you can just not even hire a real bartender and just a bot and just make sure it, does its job. At that point, you can have the manager also cooking the food in the back, if anything. Like, I could see restaurants where it's just everything's automated and it's just one manager sitting there, like just the owner or something just sitting there, just making sure everything runs efficiently at that point. I could see that. That would be smart because you save a lot of money on employment. So you got to think ahead. You got to think ahead in that sense. You got to think of what's to come in the future. Because McDonald's looks very different now compared to back then. And I'm sure in the future it's going to look very different too. Because they have to adapt. You have to adapt. You have to make the adaptation. I know I'm going to go into another long-winded rant about AI, but that's how it is. You cannot be a company like McDonald's and let your competitors surpass you by using newer technology that brings in more revenue and does away with the human. Now, I know there's going to be people who are going to say, well, I still want that human interaction. Isn't, like, loneliness, like, at its highest or something? Like, isn't there a lot of, like, people that are lonely or something? I don't even know what the definition of lonely is. Because I don't really go out much. Let me see. Fart long sound effect. I've been doing some editing practice, so I've been grabbing sound effects. Sad because one has no friends or company. Without companion solitary. Frequency in remote. Sad because this is the big one. Sad because one has no friends or company. Huh. I don't feel sad. I feel actually the opposite. I'm like, oh, I'm alone? Great. Goddamn. I get to like do all kinds of things. So that's where we're headed. We're headed towards a future where the bots are going to be everywhere and humans are just not going to be interacting with one another. It's going to be interaction with the bots, unfortunately. So Titan, Medbot, even when you go to the hospital, you're going to be like, where's the human? Why am I just being attended by bots? Like, you guys think I'm kidding, but I'm not. Cleaning, we already had the little robots, right? The iRobot. Or those cleaning robots. I don't remember the Roombas. There we go. I was about to say the Goombas, but no, the Roombas. We had the Roombas, and now there's these cleaning robots. You're not gonna need no cleaners. So long cleaners, to an extent, for now. Once you get the humanoid robots to replace cleaners, then Now that I think about it, that's gonna be interesting. Anyone running a cleaning business is gonna be out of business because companies are just gonna hire a machine that does it. It's just gonna walk around and clean everything overnight and then go back to sleep, go power down somewhere in a closet. You guys think I'm kidding? I'm not. I just gave you $1 million idea. If you can come up with a humanoid robot that can do all the cleaning, that's a business it's gonna destroy those cleaning businesses that exist right now. If you can invent a robot that can mow the lawn, you better believe if that robot lawnmower turns itself on and then just mows the lawn and then goes back and shuts itself off in the garage somehow, boom, you just, again, $1 million idea right there. There's just so much innovation that's going to come. You think I'm kidding. Everything has a chip now, right? Guess what? Everything's going to be robotic in the future. 18 years of innovating, 400 plus robots deployed. I'm sure they have more technology, no? Technology solutions, delivery. No, I think that's it. For now, I assume they have more in the works besides this. But the evolution will eventually be, hey, your food delivery, if anyone orders food delivery, I rarely do so, but if anyone orders food delivery, it's a human. In the future, it'll be a machine, I'm sure. I think they're already doing it with Serve Robotics in California, I believe. But I don't know if it's around here in Chicago. So, yeah. There's a lot to be excited about. I just hope you guys make a lot of money off of these robotics companies right now before people start getting the boot. That's because it's going to happen. It's already happening, I heard. They're just giving people the boot and replacing them with bots. I should go to one of these. I'll see if there's a Walmart or something nearby that. Because I know there's a Walmart here near the suburbs. Let me check. I think I can look at a Walmart. Suburbs. What's it called? Richtech Robotics. Oh, there it is. First humanoid robot in Rockford, Illinois. Oh, it's not that close, actually. I would have to drive quite a bit. At One Kitchen in Walmart. Yeah, so I would have to go to a Walmart in Rockford. That's pretty... It's not far, but it's, it's quite a distance, quite a drive. Let's see. Burgers. I'm assuming a human... Yeah, there's a human back there, right? But the machine is really the showcase here. Announces the installation of its advanced robotic beverage system Adam at One Kitchen in a Rockford, Illinois Walmart. Marks the second installation as part of a planned rollout across 241 kitchens. So maybe I have to wait and maybe I'll get one near the Walmarts that are by me. I think the Walmart that I used to go to like back 5-6 years ago when I was, before COVID basically, I think that one has a Subway inside it. I guess people love sandwiches around here. Nasty sandwiches for some reason. Nasty sandwiches. So yeah, maybe I'll just wait and see if they come around here. We continue to reach new milestones, this time celebrating the first humanoid drink robot in the state of Illinois. Oh man, you will not believe the amount of owners that I know who would be more than happy to replace the human with a machine. I promise you, I've met plenty of restaurant owners. If they get that chance to replace humans with a bot, a drinking bot, bartender bot, whatever, they'll take it. Because imagine being the owner of a restaurant. You don't want to deal with humans. You know they can kind of suck. Nobody actually wants to show up and work at a restaurant and wash dishes and make food. Nobody actually wants to do that. So the employees, especially Gen Z, from what I heard, they tend to be pretty terrible. I heard companies would rather hire millennial than Gen Z. Like that. I don't know if that's true. That's what I've heard. What's it called? Quiet quitting? Like, yeah, it's not. I'm telling you right now, based on everything that I know about humans and how terrible they are, and I'm saying that as a human, I think Richtech Robotics is going to make you a lot of money long term. I think it's a good investment. You got to think long term though. Again, it took 20 years or 15 years for PlayStation 1 to become PlayStation 5, right? For the graphics to get that good. I think PlayStation 6 probably going to be like AI integrated, right? Like that's every generation, it just keeps getting better and improving. So, Gen 5 of whatever robot they come up with next is going to be superior to Gen 1. So, and I'm not really a tech person. I'm just telling you based off of what I've observed, right? I mean, remember back when TVs were tube TVs? Yeah, you remember those? And now we have these flat screens. So, I heard they got curved ones too, but I don't know if that does anything. Those curved screens seem ridiculous to me as far as I'm concerned. Let's see. Okay, let's continue here. They got included in the Russell 2000, 3000. I don't think that's a big deal. Really, the bigger deal is what's to come in the future. If you can think ahead again. Some people can't think ahead. I've seen some data that people don't think. Like, they have no inner monologue. They have no ability to just, like, even imagine, like, an apple in their head. I don't know if that's true, but I'm one of those people that gives people the benefit of the doubt. I assume you're smart unless you really show me otherwise. Like, if you really show me that you're just dumb, then I'm going to know that you're dumb. But I give people the benefit of the doubt and assume, like, everyone's smart, right? I assume everyone's smart until they show me otherwise. It would be kind of terrible to assume the opposite, right? Hey, everyone's garbage and stupid and dumb, to assume that first of someone, that's pretty horrible mindset at that point. The hospitality industry is rapidly evolving. Hotels that implement automation are seeing operation. See, this is another thing. Not only operational costs are dropping by 30 to 40%, you better believe other companies are going to look at this and go, well, we need to make the adaptation. Because, I mean, we're just going to get destroyed by the competition here if they're adopting machine and they're seeing their operational costs drop. And shareholders are going to be very happy, obviously. It's all about making the shareholders happy. Along with enhanced guest satisfaction and stronger revenue strategies. Okay, I don't see anything else here. Is Night Food a part of... Is Night Food Holdings a part of... Is that another robotics stock? Huh, I'm going to have to look into that later. Interesting. Yeah, hospitality's widespread adoption of AI and robotics reflects on industry striving to cut cost, improve service, and resolve labor shortages. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. A lot of people gave, who was it, SoundHound? Remember SoundHound AI when it was at like $5 and under, back when I was telling people to buy? I remember when shorts were saying, hey, this stock is garbage, it's trash. All SoundHound does is work with restaurants. But man, the restaurant industry is huge. There's a lot. Domino's Pizza stock is like, what, 300 plus? Like Wingstop is at like 200 plus or something. Like the restaurant business is huge. People don't really want to make their own food. They'd rather get fed, right? They'd rather just pay the money to someone else make the food for them. And ideally, it gets delivered to them, right? So humans are becoming a little lazier because of technology. Surprise, surprise. I wonder what that means for the future. But hospitality, restaurants, all that, just because a company is working within those industries does not mean that it's not gonna that it's gonna fail. It's gonna succeed. When you got all these big restaurants, all these big names working with someone like SoundHound or Richtech Robotics in the future, it's going to reflect well for the company, and of course the shareholders are going to benefit long term from the share price appreciation. So again, you gotta don't listen to other people. Think about your experiences. Think about what actually makes sense. Because once people start seeing the results, a lot of companies are just going to have to jump on the bandwagon or be left behind with their legacy, solution. Which unfortunately, the legacy solution is the human. I know that sounds crazy to say. I know I probably sound insane, and maybe I am. I think that's it here. This one's talking about some other stock. It's not really talking about. It's just talking about robotics as a whole in general. So our stock looks like it tried to. Yeah, this is why I said wow. As I was making this video, our stock, as I was saying, it would have to break above $3 to hopefully go back to 5. If this thing comes back to the purple line, I'm buying. I'm just gonna buy. I'm not gonna question it. I think they already sold. No, yeah, insiders sold or no. They did an offering. Yeah, someone did sell. Can you blame them, right? Can you blame them for selling? If they bought under $2 and it went to nearly 4, that's almost 100%er. Of course, you're not gonna blame insiders for selling. They're just people like me and you. I don't know why people like to act like insiders are these special people. They're just like anyone else. They also want to make lots of money on the stock. Launches 100 million at the market offering. That is not surprising to me. Again, they need to raise money to create the next generation of robots. They need to create new robots, right? They're not just gonna pigeonhole themselves to just one industry, right? They're smart enough to recognize there's a lot that can be done here. If anyone here watching this is smart and you know how to make robots, I mean, just think about all the industries that are out there and where you can replace a human with a robot, and you might have a big business there. It's going to be a long road ahead, a lot of work, clearly, as you can tell, because you can see AITX is struggling. Richtech Robotics, it doesn't struggle like AITX, right? It has a very clear bottom down here, like under 2, it's always a buy, but it just kind of pump and dumps, right? It's not really trending to the upside yet, like SoundHound. So I think this one's still very much a sleeper, and I love it. And I'm glad that they diluted it near the top, because some of these companies sometimes they sell off. They do offerings like right here, and I'm like, you should have done it up here at least when the share price was higher. So clearly someone maybe is in their ear telling them like, hey, if you're gonna do an offering, do it up here when it's at like $3-4. Long term, it's looking like SoundHound, honestly. You guys might think I'm kidding. I'll show you the pattern. Sideways action gets a big pump, right? Sideways action gets a big pump. So, sideways action gets a big pump. We would, these patterns repeat. Why wouldn't we take advantage of them? That's the question I ask you. Why wouldn't we abuse that pattern? So it reminds me of SoundHound. Look at this. I already put this is on the monthly time frame, by the way. It goes sideways, big pump, sideways, big pump, sideways, big pump. Maybe it's going to go sideways here between 12.50 and 15, and then we get a big pump again and we go back to 20 plus. I could see that, absolutely. And surprise, surprise, both SoundHound and Richtech Robotics, they have one thing in common. Both use AI, both work with restaurants. So maybe you're getting a peek into the future in terms of what the share price appreciation might be for Richtech Robotics. That is it for the video, guys. I've been talking way too long. I just really get excited about robots replacing humans. God, humans suck so much. They suck so much. I mean, I'm joking, but that's how companies see us. They go, they suck. If you've ever had to work at like at a business where humans are kind of crappy, not that crappy in the sense that like they kind of are lazy. Like sometimes you do more work and they do less work, or they're just lazy. You know, there's a lot of lazy people out there, and if you can replace that with a bot, companies are gonna do it. Truckers, no one is safe in my opinion. I don't think anyone is safe. You know, I think the trades are safe for now. For now. But inevitably, there will be a machine that can build your house. And that's it for the video. I will see you in the next one.